Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Cloud Imperium released a Star Citizen Alpha 3.12 post-mortem. I want to summarise that rather lengthy piece here, focusing on what Cloud Imperium implemented, what worked, what didn't, and what they're working on now. The vehicle team worked on how capital ships function and perform and helped deal with the increased lethality of torpedoes with smarter and more effective AI countermeasure usage, which allowed them to have the Xenothreat event. They added the ability to choose the type of countermeasure and how that's fired in burst. There are HUD elements that show how many of each type of countermeasure you've got, along with your current burst size. Changes were also made on how countermeasure types worked against different types of missile, but they changed how effective they are based on the type and number of incoming missiles. Decoys replaced flares as a time-limited point distraction, and noise fields replaced chaff, becoming an area of effect signal blocker. There are minor variances in missile tracking as well, so a successful countermeasure will not divert all missiles equally. There's also a panic button which empties 25% of available countermeasures in an attempt to overpower a surge of incoming missiles. A much requested quality of life feature was added, the vehicle entry identification system, which basically goes, this is where the entry points in your ship are, and you can see that quite clearly. The Asperia Talon and Talon Shrike were added with Alpha 3.12, which also had them adding the hard surface shaders and iridescent materials, which will be used on other ships and features in the future. The reputation system was partially released. While it isn't visible to players yet, they are able to experience it through mission givers and some of the mission chains. The Bounty Hunter chain is the most notable series currently, which makes use of reputation. Not every mission has been converted to the new system though, and we do know that they are working on UI and updates for reputation now, and new tools to support the reputation system. And the systemic services and tools team also, in addition to working on various parts of the reputation system, also continue to work on quantum simulation and integrating it into services alongside internal presentations of new technology that they're excited to share with the community soon, but no dates given yet. The design team did various work. AI can now intercept torpedoes, though accuracy is poor. They can target and hit threats much more better and work out what threat is appropriate to attack at the time. Again, they need to potentially actively seek out torpedoes a bit better, because torpedo spam is a thing. Capital ships are aware of their positioning and distance when engaging ships as well, using their weapons more appropriately, though it does need further work. The new elevator panels are interactive UIs that can be easily modified and skinned for future variants as well, and loads of updates have been made to get the elevators in game using those new panels, and there are a few bugs to fix. Though refinery gameplay has stations having material specializations, workloads, and the ability to refine, collect, and sell refined materials. This needs further work and balance. Not all stations as well will have refineries in them. It's going to be certain Lagrange point stations that make sense along chains and things like that, as far as I'm aware. The entire mining UI saw a huge overhaul, making it a load more useful with info on everything that you might want to easily access at a glance. You'll be able to see more updates for various other vehicle UIs in the future too. Core gameplay. Multi-Tool saw a load of updates with their new gravity module. This can pick up and move boxes both in space and on the ground at quite a range, and helps push various gameplay loops with cargo, salvage, looting, piracy, problem solving, EVA traversal, as the gravity tool can also be used to pull you around like a grappling hook in EVA, damage control, blockage removal, and more. Obviously, only some of those things are actually accessible at the moment, basically being EVA traversal and the ability to move boxes around with the gravity tool. The tool has a mass limit, and as you carry more massy items, the sort of tractor beam will bend and you'll see it struggling. In the future, we're going to be able to change the trajectory of our EVA movement while also using the grappling hook tool, so we can sort of use it much more agilely, I suppose. We are going to see a lot more missions and features use the gravity tool soon as well. Weapon zeroing was added, making long-range FPS pew-pew more viable. However, there were some edge case bugs and problems with it. They're going to be updating a load of the FPS weapons. They want to overhaul a load of them to make them all high quality like the new ones they released in 3.12. Locations. So they added space station refinery decks, as mentioned earlier, and associated refinery gameplay. We're going to be seeing specific NPC loadouts for those decks soon, so refinery gear and loadouts for those NPCs. They made various stance and planetary improvements. Both planets and moons look much visually better now, and they've made use of some new tech and used sort of like a new building process for biomes and planets to make everything look a lot more natural and embedded. Terrain looks more detailed with more depth, and sand and dust helps blend and embed rocks and assets further as well. They want to do some more updates to moons to give them some additional diversity as well. They are building more asset packs for terrain, and that will see more variety and much more easily built sort of planets, moons, and all that sort of jazz. They have further improved the Stanton system's spacescaping with the much requested gas clouds. Points of interest make extensive use of these now. However, performance of these areas is pretty low when it comes to frame rates, even though 3.12.1 improved that a little bit. In the future, we will see them tying together spacescapes and gameplay, which then lead them to smaller volumetric gas pockets. For future gameplay opportunities, they're looking at encourage risk and reward gameplay inside gas pockets with elements like lightning and radiation and temperature ranges and flight handling. Lots of cool stuff coming up. Technology! There was a lot of focus on fixing bugs related to lighting gas clouds, shadows and particles. The proportion of time spent bug fixing compared to new features was higher than they would have liked. Despite the slowdown in feature work, they did manage to maintain good progress on the new Gen 12 renderer, which will be the primary focus for early 2021 for the technology guys and people that are, able to work on that. So it looks like I might get my wish of having Vulkan integration later this year. The physics guys worked on volumetric soft bodies prototypes, volumetric deformation, and many optimizations like event queuing. They have been working on physicalized shockwaves, boxed shape physics grids, and bullet drag was added as movements to the setup of touch blending vegetation, which will have plants and similar objects bend and break and buckle as you move past them. The initial draft of the cloud renderer was implemented, and work on volumetric cloud shadows made good progress. Work will commence on improvements to local cloud shaping. Note that there's still quite a lot of work to be done before release there. They have improved distance-related culling, so you can now see players over 1,000 meters away instead of just a few hundred or so, and they don't pop in the same way. There were loads of networking improvements, including back-end services and concurrency for more services and servers spinning up, and just generally better redundancy, which is good because there's a free fly now and lots of players will be turning up. There is better spawning of locations with parallel spawn queues. This in general speeds up things loading in the universe, be it missions, ships, or your pab after spawning. This is partly in preparation for persistent streaming and iCache and server meshing. They decoupled the entity creation process from entity spawning. This allows them to seed the initial state of the universe into persistent database by creating all dynamic entities prior to simulation. The dedicated game server processes will then stream persistent entities, spawn and despawn them, from that database during simulation. This is an important stepping stone for a fully persistent universe. Significant progress has been made towards server meshing and getting the process of separating and communicating between the client and server sort of like in an order that can then be worked on and optimized has commenced. They have made tweaks to the game time and desync stuff, so the accumulated result of all of these changes was a significant reduction in latency and desynchronization issues in many areas, even under harsh test conditions for network and server performance. This will continue to be improved as they move towards server meshing. And that's it for the 3.12 post-mortem and lessons learned, as well as what Cloud Imperium are working towards now. We will see a full breakdown of the Xenothreat event and stats for that in some detail in the near future as well, so we'll leave all that for then. But what do you think? Are you looking forward to 3.13, the next major patch coming at the end of Q1, so hopefully at the end of March? Do you think we'll see significant progress with that patch? What do you think the current 3.12.1 patch is like? Have you had a great experience? Have you had a bad one? Are there lots of problems? Are you having a great time? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and February is no different. This month is for a Mercury Star Runner. It's a multi-role ship, but also a solid data and cargo runner, and flyable now in game. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during a month. Details below. I'm also a massive shill for NordVPN. If you are looking for a VPN service and you you should, then NordVPN acts as a fleet of ships protecting your data from prying eyes while also providing privacy like a ship would. Enjoy the interwebs without borders, securely and safely. Use the links below for discount. I can't promise it will make your life better, but I can imply that. Also, there is Game Glass. Do you have a touchscreen device that you want to use as a diegetic controller or interactive panel for Star Citizen and other games? Check out Game Glass. It's free for life for the basic version, and you can buy additional shards or functionality or subscribe for more as well. A special thank you for everyone that goes the extra mile to become a channel member or Patreon, as well as just liking, subscribing, or sharing these videos. If you would like to further support the channel, then please consider using the YouTube join button below my videos and becoming a BoredGamer channel member. You'll get some exclusive content each month, as well as badges that appear in the comments section of videos and emotes that you can use and all that sort of jazz. Thank you so much for checking out my content. You take care, and I hope to see you in the verse.